is spring. Oh no, the spring is finally here. What was the last one? Hi guys. Finally warm weather and I can start planting everything out. I've been looking forward to this time for so long. Well, this is the biggest bed that I decided to give away to all my flowers. This will be my cut flower garden. As you can see, different parts dedicated to different plants. Here are ranunculuses, peonies. I'm gonna tell you today what I decided to do and how. There is a trick called companion planting and also square foot gardening, so I combine those two things. Basically, it means planting a lot in very small spaces. So if you have small space or big space, it doesn't matter. You can grow more, obviously, in big spaces, but you can also grow a lot in very tiny, like 3 by 3 foot beds. Let me show you how we do it. My magic book that I started finally filling in, and this is my big plan for the big bed for the veggies. And here you can see all the vegetables that grow very nicely next to each other, but some of them might not be doing well if they planted next to the furthest one away. And that's the trick with companion planting, that certain vegetables don't like to be next to the others and they compete, and ones might thrive and the other ones won't grow at all. That's why you have friends in the garden that you plant together and they help each other. Some protect you from disease and some protect you from different bugs and things like that. And then if you plant them correctly, then everything will be thriving. But obviously I don't always remember which plant is good for which, so I have this app which I found very helpful and I tested several of them. And this is the bed we're looking at right now. And in here you can see these green circles. It means they're friends. Alfie, look. Sometimes some plants don't like each other, and if you go here and click info, look, Alfie, you can see that, for example, beetroots, companion plants are these ones, and they don't have any combative plants. Let's see about onions. Onions, yeah. Go here. And here you can see, so for example, onions you can't plant next to bees and peas. Peas? Yeah, you can't. But you can plant them all next to all the green ones. Very cool, isn't it? This is my little assistant that likes picking everything I plant straight away. Alfie, would you like a radish?
Yeah.
If David Tripp, who is our gardener, watching this, he's probably laughing at me by planting so many radishes, but I didn't know that you are not supposed to plant all the seeds from the packet straight away. This is little Alfie's garden. He picked this himself and he loves strawberries very much. But what Alfie doesn't know, if you plant onions next to strawberries, it will protect your strawberries, Alfie, from all the bugs.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
And here you can see 4 different beds, which I decided to plant mix 2 things. So I mixed things that I want to grow, but also things that other people might want to grow. And the other idea was to plant like one group, and that group you use for some type of cooking. So for example, in this bed, you can make like some stews and stuff. So here I have a place for my tomatoes. We have edamame beans, sweet peas just for beautiful trellis and flowers, some thyme, which is very friendly to all the companions in here. Some parsley surrounding the tomatoes, some onions, this bed like this. We will plant some nasturtium in here. And how it works, it protects tomatoes from all the slugs and everything by attracting them to that plant. And then they just ignore the tomatoes that we are so precious about. Here we will have some basil. Here we will have peppers and some lettuces. So this is your stew bed. In this bed, I mostly focused on the climbers, big climbers, which will create the shade and the canopy over this dining area. So here we have pumpkins, some sweet peas, they don't take much space and they don't bring much more than just beauty and beautiful little flowers. And they just can be between your other things you grow. Here is another pumpkin. There we have some edamame beans, I think. And here just started sprouting my little peas. By the way, if you plant something right now indoors, it will grow much quicker, but I wanted to challenge myself again and start seeding outside, and it worked. We will have some spinach, aubergines, and nasturtium. And the other thing that you need to remember about planting all these things, sometimes when you plant them like this, you wouldn't like how it looks, and then you don't have to plant them in squares. You can mix them up, but by mixing it, you also have to remember what's growing next to which plant in the best way possible. So for example, here I can show you, if you copy your tomato plant, and for example, here you see your empty space, and you will like, I would like more tomatoes. And you plant it here, you can see that it will compete with the corn. So you either choose which one you want to keep, or you choose some other plant instead. Bed, Alfie. I call it green bed. Most of the things that I grow in here are green because they love being friends. Cool? Yeah, we. So here we have some kale that we planted from seed. Some more radishes. We have lettuce you passing by, some leeks, some more leeks and broccoli, some garlics and onions, rosemary, broccoli, beetroot, cauliflower. And do you remember from I think it was my first video when we started planting in this bed, and I had no idea how to plant these things. And David was helping me to plant little garlics. And now look at me planting from seed outside, growing radishes. So I was planting some garlics with David, and we were planning to take out all the sage, but turns out sage is very good companion planting for leeks, and not leeks, for celery, for broccoli and cabbage. So we left it in the bed. The best growing things are weeds. So here I planted more radishes because, as you've heard, I've planted lots of them. But actually it's not that many. Like when we started picking, this is from just one trip to the garden. Maybe they will grow faster when it's warmer time. But you can sow them as you go, and then when you pick something, you can seed more seeds, and then new ones will grow later, so you can have your everlasting all year round, not all year round, but all season round harvests. We will have 2 courgette plants. Courgette is growing beautifully, and you pick just 1 courgette a day almost if you have several plants. And from what I've learned recently, if you grow them upwards, so you put a stick in it and you stick them so they grow up, you can actually have more things around it because it's quite the chunky part to plant. And this bed that I have here was my trouble bed because it has shade half of the day, so not everything thrives in here. My mom first year managed to grow well tomatoes in here. Little towers will be here supporting tomatoes. In between them I have some spinach to support the flavor of tomatoes, some radishes, some peas. And then on that side I decided to have this year some berry garden. So best way to plant your berry garden is to order bare roots, which is cheaper And it doesn't look very pretty when you plant it, but it will grow much better. Behind the raspberries here, I've planted some sweet peas, which will create just nice trailing wall and more beautiful display. Here we have very beautiful red apple. Here we have blueberry plants. This is just traditional blueberry, blue color, and these are pink blueberries. I never tried them, but it's interesting what's gonna grow. Manicure of the year, gardener's manicure. I think I wash my hands like 20 times half of the day, and then they still look like this all day. But it's such a happy feeling to have this dirt on your hands, knowing that you've grown things from seed. It's amazing. And it's like from all those memes when I'm coming to this with this plant with this radish to my husband to show him that I've grown it from seed. It's awesome. It just gives you different feeling when you eat vegetables that you've grown your own. So this is it. This is pretty easy way to grow a lot and, don't know, have things you love, and knowing what to plant, with which plant is gonna help you to grow these things in a better way possible. So I'm gonna leave the links to this app that I'm using down below, and you can use it too. And when you planting your garden, just ask yourself a question: what do you want to eat? And then that will give you the answer what will be your main plant. And then surround this plant by other things you love.